sun is high, we're feeling good. In Miami where the spirit's understood. With Bobby Finstock leading the crew, we're gonna show you what these Dolphins do. Fans up high, the crowd's roaring loud. In the city with the blue and aqua proud. Van the Stanza's here with the play-by-play. We're getting ready, it's game day. Are you ready for some football? Miami Dolphins standing tall. Are you ready for some football? Showtime at the Hard Rock, y'all. From the tailgate to the field of green, with the best fans you ever seen. Bobby's got the scoop, hot off the press. In Miami, we roar to impress. Play up stats and pregame chat.
Good evening, Dolphin fans. Welcome to the Dolphins pregame show. I am not Bobby Finstock. That is not Finstanza to my right. I am Finstanza, your lead host tonight, and with me is my father, the pops of the Finstock Sports Network, as Bobby has basketball tonight prior to the game. Fish Tank Hank. What's up, Fish Tank? What's up? I unmuted you. What's up?
There you go.
What's up?
You muted me, so it surprised me for a minute.
I had to turn you up because it was noisy.
I'm actually at the new Hideaway Bar, Orlando's Dolphins fan club. They meet here for the games. So I'm here for a game tonight.
That's so fun. Has it started to get busy yet?
Not yet. It will, though. And when it gets busy, it gets packed. It gets crazy here.
Okay.
It's a good time for everybody, though.
That's cool. All right. So how are you feeling heading into the game? Like, what are your initial feelings? Are you starting to feel the butterflies, or are you just calm as a cucumber?
Yeah, I'm pretty nervous for our team. But at the same time, I saw a lot of what I liked in the last game.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you like. Depends on what you like.
Yeah.
Me,
Okay, so I know
I
you're
go
Mr.
with
Calm.
anything.
You roll with everything. So Bobby couldn't join us tonight because he has a son's basketball game. He will be with me on the post-game show, hopefully celebrating a victory. That would be nice. But he posted some nice stuff here. We can go over that pretty quickly just to give him his props. So if the Finns win tonight, they'll keep their decent slim hopes for a wild card. If they lose, they will move into the third overall pick in the draft behind the Jags and the Giants. We'll be talking about that. Think about it. The Panthers are no longer even in that low. Miami Dolphins, I was going to bring it up later, are 2-8 in primetime game. They're actually under McDaniel. People say it's 2-8. Some people say it's 2-9. Doesn't really matter. Tyreek is not a game time. He is a game time decision, but he was practicing on the field just recently, so that's a good sign.
Well, I saw they said that he is playing.
Yeah,
he said he is playing.
Yeah, so let's hopefully we'll see what's going on, but I'm sure he will be playing. And then also based on what Drew Hosenso says, if they tried to play him, they might play him. But if they lose tonight, I have a feeling they might sit him for the rest of the year if his wrists are really bothering him.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the injured reserve, about River and all that, Austin Jackson and all that. But we'll get to that. We'll get to all this afterwards. So Hank, let's just talk about the high level of this game, right? So I want to just give perspective of how the Dolphins are doing so far this season. And these are key points. We didn't love how the defense played against Arizona, how they've been playing lately. But I'm less worried about the defense. The defense is 19th in points allowed, which means that even though they have not been great the last couple of games, they are not the worst in the league. Where they are the worst in the league, even with Tua back in the last two games, including the fact that they put up 27 in the last two games, is they're still 32nd, averaging just over 15.5 points a game. The other thing that really scares me, Hank, and I want to get your perspective after I go through some of the stats, these are the two stats that concern me the most about this football team. Last season and the season before, when it was 4th and 1, McDaniel was going for it every time, 4th and 2. If you remember that Buffalo game in his first year, he went for it on 4th and 7, right? We are 32nd, last in the league on 4th down conversion. We cannot convert that 4th down. It is scary as can be. we are averaging with this offense 1.5 touchdowns a game, 1.5 touchdowns a game. That's 32nd in the league. Okay, we are 30th in sack percentage, 30th. That is absolutely atrocious, and we're 28th in takeaways. So on both sides of the ball, we are bottoms of the league in some very key categories. What are your thoughts on that? Like, what are your thoughts on when you're seeing that it's consistently that when you look at these really important stats, which are they're small stats, but when you think about pressures and getting to the quarterback, converting to keep the play going and staying on the field, producing touchdowns, not sporadic field goals, and not being able to take the ball away from the other team, like it's a real mix. Like even if you look at how both sides are doing, I think in the end it's a real mishmash of where both sides of the ball, including the special teams, I think the blame is all over the place. I think you can't pinpoint it anymore. It's really all over the place. It's a team failure. It's not one side of the ball anymore. It's truly a team failure. What do you think about that?
I totally agree with you. I mean, and there's a lot of different views on it too. You know, you got to remember you were missing some key players as far as the defense goes. I mean, we were missing Sealer in the middle. I mean, him and Campbell are unbelievable together. So
Yeah,
I really like that duo. You know, you can call them the new salt and pepper or whatever you want, or the new steak supreme, whatever you want to call them. You know,
yeah,
but you know, you're right. You're right. Our team is not balanced at any point, any point in time. They're just not there.
it's
They're just
60
not
minutes.
there, and they're not playing 60 minutes. That's my point.
Yeah.
They're not giving you a full 60 minutes.
Yeah, and I think you know what? I want to give you a quick laugh. This team is so disinterested. Is so not. Last year and the previous year, even heading into the season, you could turn on NFL Live, you could turn on Good Morning Football, ESPN, and the Dolphins were the face. They were one of the teams they were always talking about. The greatest show on turf. Everything like that. If you know Colin Cowherd, the guy on Fox FS1, he's so moronic. I almost fell off my chair when I saw this before. But Hank, I tagged you on to go watch it after. He was talking about the game today and how the offensive line for the Rams is going to struggle because of a left guard is out. Kerryon Williams is going to struggle, and he said, "Well." He asked the guy, do you think Christian Wilkins is going to be able to stop the running game? And I go, Christian Wilkins? Wait, Christian Wilkins still on the team? Like, that's how far gone the Dolphins are, that the talking heads don't even know who's on our defensive line. That's how disinterested people are on our team, that big people, talking heads, people get millions of views, still think that Christian Wilkins is a Miami Dolphin. Like, what kind of nonsense is this? So just to give you perspective, Bobby mentioned it in the comments. The Dolphins are 2-8 in primetime. And I think you're one of the few people when we were prognosticating this season, and whenever you saw a primetime game, you were the first person to go, oh boy, that's a loss. Oh boy, that's going to be a tough one. How do you feel like, and by the way, their only wins, to give you perspective, their only wins, Hank, are against Mac Jones and Kenny Pickett. None of them are starters anymore. So they didn't really beat much. They beat the Patriots and they beat the Steelers. And if you remember that Steelers game, you know who got that interception? No, was it Noah Igabogany, I think, who got that first interception that first year when we almost lost? I think Bobby predicted that game. How is it that the Miami Dolphins struggle so much in primetime? Like, they've had 10 games. This is going to be their 11th, and they cannot get up for this game.
If I could tell you that, I'd be working for the Miami Dolphins.
Like,
to be totally honest with you.
No, but what do you think it is? No, but if you had to pinpoint what it is it just because I think it's also a sense of Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Tua. Our best players don't show up when the lights are bright. It's almost as if people are. It's like when you want. It's like you don't want to go out when a lot of people are. It's like you don't want to go to the gym when everybody's there. You want to go there at 5 a.m. or at 11 o'clock at night when no one's there because you're afraid that people are going to notice what you're doing. What is it about the pressure?
You know what?
Yeah.
I think the Miami Dolphins are going to come into this game all pissed off. to be totally honest with you. I
Punt
think
it.
they're tired of the quacking and the smacking from all the local yokels, and they're ready. I think they're ready for this task. And, you know, a lot of people are counting them out already, and there's a long way to go. If we win, say we win tonight, you know, that puts us back in the category of 10th or 12th or something like that.
We're not even close.
So not even close, but the teams that are higher up than us have played one more game than us too, and they only have 4 wins.
Yeah.
So, looking at the current map, if they lose and we win, we're doing okay. We're coming back up, and we actually might have a chance as long as we stay sturdy. Now, the reality behind it all is we're probably not going to make it. And, you know, but you have to look at the team as a whole. We've been missing key players at key times. Missing Sealer for a few weeks hurt us. Missing Tua hurt us. Missing a lot of key players has hurt us. Or key players weren't they were hurt.
Yeah,
You know,
but we did it to ourselves. We've done it to ourselves, Hank. Zach Sealer got poked in the eye at practice by a fellow player, and Tua got himself injured. That's the one thing we can actually say. He got himself injured by doing exactly what everyone's been telling him not to do for 2 years, and what he didn't do all of last season. That's the big difference, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the difference too. Absolutely. Yeah. But he was missing. So
have we hit rock bottom? Or is tonight if we lose rock bottom?
If we lose tonight, I think we've hit rock bottom.
Worse than 4 years ago?
Tonight,
worse than 4 years ago?
Yeah.
This is the lowest point in a very long time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because of the talent that's on this team, for it to be this low is just crazy. It's just crazy to me. Yeah. I can't believe it, to be totally honest with you. You know, dumbfounded is an understatement at this point.
But you know, I think you shouldn't be as surprised, Hank, because I think you're the one who even said it, and I think Steven Maloya said it. When we got all those grades for how great the location is, or how nice the players are treated, blah blah blah, they forget about the fans. You guys are not treated the way you're supposed to. And the team with the worst experience in terms of the players is a team that's won two consecutive Super Bowls. So I think that the mentality is that it's still a lack of accountability. There's still a lack of ownership, right? Like the whole joke last week is that the only reason Julian Hill wasn't in the starting lineup is because he was injured, right? Like, and then you put Durham Smythe and he was worse. Like, we go to trade deadline, our number one person, which is the long snapper, like, because there's no accountability right now. And like, I know Bobby said this on your guys' show. What don't you agree with, Hammer Time? Let me know what you don't agree with. He said on the show that maybe his hands were strapped. Maybe. We'll see. To give you a flip, because I don't want to this is not the bandwagon. This was what gives me cause for pause, as Bobby likes to say. So swapping Detroit for Los Angeles, Matthew Stafford has 6 primetime wins in 3 seasons, while throwing 15 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions with a 122.3 passer rating. So Matthew Stafford actually wakes up when it's nighttime. He wakes up when it's prime time. He shows up. That gives me a little pause that with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, that Matthew Stafford, an experienced quarterback at home, is something we have to really be concerned about. If you've watched him this season, he's an older quarterback now. He's 36 years old, but he's still a very capable gunslinger in the NFL. And Sean McVay, part of the McDaniel tree, of the Shanahan tree, is a very capable quarterback. So that gives me a little bit of cause for pause. Does that worry you at all, or that Matthew Stafford has had such great success?
No, it doesn't worry me at all. I mean, he's also had, just like Goff had, he's had those kinds of days too. So
yeah,
he like you said, though, his current track record is what it is.
Yeah.
He plays when the bright lights are on.
Yeah.
I don't think the Dolphins have come up and played big in the past year or two. During prime time, we've kind of sloughed off and sucked.
Yeah. Just want to give you guys, everyone who's watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate you. 23 seconds ago, so no one's actually reacted, but we have the Enactus for tonight's game. Jeff Wilson, expected. Ethan Bonner, expected. Storm Duck, still a little bit out. Mo Kamara, out. Andrew Meyer, out. The Extridge, out. I'm going to give you the last name, which I think is going to give you a little bit of a cause for pause tonight. Alec Ingold is not playing tonight. So we do not have a fullback. Which means
Excellent.
the blocking is going to be a problem tonight. Because you're not going to have... Devon Achane is usually and most are usually running behind Ingold. So I think you might see a lot of Jalen Wright tonight because that's concerning. What you don't see on this list is Kader Kohu will be back, which is great news. As you mentioned, Zach Sealer will be back. That will be good news. As well as River Craycraft is back, which is a good... Tua is going to be very excited about that. So there's some positive... And Javon Holland's also back. So there's our defense.
That's what I'm saying. We got a lot of people back, especially on defense.
But how concerning is it that we don't have our fullback tonight?
I'm not that concerned about it, to be totally honest with you. You know why? Because we're going to have to throw to keep up with the Rams.
Do you think it's going to be a passing game today?
I think it should be a passing game for the
It should be a high-scoring game tonight.
Yes.
Okay. You want the ball going deep. Because FYI, no Austin Jackson tonight. He's been put on IR for 4 games. Of all the people, although when I saw an IR, it didn't bother me because I think Kendall Lamb can handle that job just as well as Austin Jackson can in this element. Last year when Teron Armstead wasn't there, yes, we miss him, but Kendall Lamb is a very capable tackle. There's a reason why we brought him back as a backup. So do any of those, if you're not concerned about Ingold, do any of them concern you? Wilson, Bonner, Duck, Kamara, Meyer, Estridge? Or are you very happy to see?
I'd like to see Storm Duck come back. I like the young lad.
Okay.
I'd like to see him make a good comeback.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
Yeah. I think you won't see a lot of... I think Jordan Poyer... What are your thoughts? I think Jordan Poyer is going to feel a little bit of the hot seat tonight, considering but also Marcus May. Like, look at how one caused the major penalty. I'm surprised we didn't leave him in Buffalo. And Marcus May couldn't tackle that little shrivel when the guy... Have you ever seen anything like that, Hank? I didn't talk to you. Did you see that 60-yard touchdown? The turnstile. It's like the guy wind. It was like a wind. Did you ever see like boom? I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like that. Thank God Javon Holland is back. I'm happy to have Kohu back. If that's what we were seeing from Cam Smith last week, bring Kader Kohu back. Thank God he's back. At least the guy can tackle. Oh, phew. I want to ask you about the linebacker core. Are you happy to see? Do you think you're going to see David Long show up again tonight, or do you want to give the role back to Walker based on what you saw from Anthony Walker last week?
Ooh, that's a tough one, man. I would have to go with Walker.
Yeah,
I would have to go with Walker.
I feel David Long has been a bit of a disappointment.
How about you?
Yeah, I think David Long has been quite a bit of a disappointment. And in coverage, I can't trust him. Walker seems like a very capable football player. And from here, unless he's on the practice squad, Channing Tyndall's on this list either. So you might be seeing Tyndall tonight. So we'll see. Honestly, we'll see tonight. They're trying different things. Let's get pressure. Honestly, I want to see pressure tonight. We're third to last in the league in sacks. Can we get some pressure on the quarterback? If Sealer's your only pass rusher, that's a big problem. We need to see some sort of. But I'll give credit to Chop Robinson. He is trying. He's a rookie and he is trying. If Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips were on either side or there right now, he'd be developing properly. You're expecting a lot from a guy, and there's a lot of pressure on him. So I feel I have been a little hard on him a little bit.
Hey, I just want to wish all the veterans out there happy Veterans Day.
Including you.
Happy Veterans Day out
I
there.
thank you all for your
everybody- all
service, including you,
veterans.
Pops. Including you, Pops.
Yes,
Thank you
and
for all that you
thank
do.
you all for serving your country for me right now. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
And I'm wearing my flag Dolphins today.
beautiful. It's beautiful. So if we look back at the season, like we look back at the records right now, I'm less concerned about the playoffs. I'm concerned just about getting some momentum because in theory, if you win, no games are guaranteed, Hank. But if you win tonight,
Yeah,
you have the Raiders and you have the Patriots, both at home. In theory, you should be 5-6, and you should be able to get some momentum and be 5-6. If you get to 5-6, and no game's a gimme, but if you get to 5-6, because this is the softer part of your schedule, heading into, I believe at that point they're heading into Green Bay. That could give you some momentum, right? Like, I think it's really critical. Like, I think if you also if you beat New England and you're playing at home, it gives you a chance to catch your breath. And even though it's a short week and you're playing on Thanksgiving, you'll go in with some sort of attitude, right? Because the Packers don't have as much to play for at that point because the Packers are successful right now. Yes, they're going to fight for a playoff spot, but they're not that concerned about making the playoffs. They know if they play consistent football, you're going to be the one playing desperate. So you're going to go in there and try to prove stuff. So this is where it starts. If you can't win tonight, but also let's talk about the NFL right now. I'm going to go through some key games for you that I think caught my eye, which leads into what the Dolphins can do tonight. The Patriots have more wins than you. If that's not embarrassing enough, then you better. They dominated the Bears last night. Okay, the Jets got trounced by Arizona. We only lost by a last-minute field goal. Arizona? Like, how much? Honestly, I'm going to keep on saying this till I'm blue in the face. As bad as the Dolphins have been for us this year, the Jets are worse. The Jets are actually they've had Aaron Rodgers behind center, and they're 3-7. They are a laughing stock of a football team. It's really, really, really embarrassing. It gives me such joy to watch the Jets suffer, and like they have a worse owner than us. Like, I think they even have worse than a GM because as bad as Greer has been, he hasn't gone out and overspent on a quarterback and literally told him what to do. Here, they tried to put a coach with a quarterback. They tried to develop. Like, in the end, like I think the Jets are in worse shape than we are. At least we have a younger quarterback. We have a young core around us. There's just it's just the lack of bringing it together. Like, that's where I think things are missing right now. The Bills, it doesn't matter what the Bills do. In the end, if you have a superstar quarterback, Hank, like, it's unbelievable. Like, it didn't. We all said, okay, this is our year. Josh Allen is something else. Like, it's just he's otherworldly. Like, we got to give the guy his props.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
he's been playing like a crazy man. You're not really going to stop him, is my point.
Someone might stop him this week, though. But I'll tell you about that. Okay, so what gives you more joy? Watching the Jets lose? What gives you does it give you more joy to see the Jets get trounced and suck? Or does it bother you more and upset you more when the Bills win? What's worse?
I don't get that upset about games, so
no. But that's not what I'm saying. So you get more joy when you see people that you don't like lose.
I like to see the Buffalo Bills lose. I enjoy that.
No,
I enjoy that.
I'm asking you, if you had a choice? If something bothered you inside more, would it be the Bills winning or the Jets losing? What gives you, like, for me, when the Bills won yesterday, I go with their Bills, whatever. When the Jets suck and Aaron Rodgers sucks, it gives me it makes my Sunday better. It eases the pain of the Dolphins not playing well. It's the first game
I enjoy the Bills losing more.
Okay, all right, because they've been winning for so long.
No, I just Bills fans are rude as a whole. Not throwing any generalizations to anybody really, but Bills fans are usually very aggressive towards Miami Dolphins fans, and that's just the way it is.
Hank, let Hammer Time know where you are.
I'm in my car, Hammer Time. I'm in my car. I have my
He's
soda
actually
right
somewhere
here.
else. He's going to be going partying soon.
I
Can I
have
ask
my
you a
soda
question?
right here. I'm at the Hideaway Bar. It is the Orlando Miami Dolphins fan club's bar where they all come and watch the game. And tonight's game, we're going to be watching it in
That'll
here.
be nice.
They just opened. This is their first weekend of football. They just reopened the new building. It's
Very cool.
across the street from where it used to be.
Very cool.
So if
How
you're
long were they
in the
closed?
Orlando area, I highly recommend going to the Hideaway Bar and check it out.
Very cool. Explain me this. A team that's 9-0, that hasn't had a great game all year, has won most of their, I think 7 of their 9 games by less than 7 points, and yesterday almost lost to the Broncos, if not for a blocked field goal. What is in the water in Kansas City? Like, they win
the Broncos
every which way.
The Broncos were looking good, man, and then they just kind of
How do you lose that? How do you lose that game?
Slowed down.
How do you blow that game?
They just didn't keep going. They didn't keep adding points.
No, you can't keep Kansas City in the game. The Steelers, Mike Tomlin. I do not. Everyone laughed at him. Justin Fields. You're putting in Russell Wilson. They go get Mike Williams. Now they're 7-2. They beat the Commanders, who have been phenomenal this year. Everyone was calling Russell Wilson for dead. Bobby was talking, go get him as a backup quarterback for. No one's saying who wants to wash up Russell Wilson. He doesn't care about his stats, Russell Wilson, but they're picking up wins with him. It's unbelievable what these Steelers are doing. It's absolutely incredible. Like I think they could beat anyone in the NFL right now.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. I wouldn't disagree with you there either.
Yeah,
they're doing a great job.
The game of the night last night. CJ Stroud. Now they're 6-4. Everyone was so high on the Texans. You never know, Hank. When they face Miami in a couple weeks, you don't know what the Texans are doing. They had that game won. You turned over Jared Goff. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 times.
5.
You turned the guy over 5 times. 5 brutal interceptions, and you can't win that football game? You can't win that football game? You couldn't convert that into – it was all field goals. It was so Miami-like. It was like unbelievable. Are the Lions for real? Or does that tell you more about the Lions or more about the Texans?
I don't know. I like the Lions. I really like the Lions. I like their head coach. That's why.
No nonsense.
Obviously.
It's amazing. He doesn't put his quarterback down. And
he just talks straight to you.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't beat around the bush, and Vrabel was like that too.
Yeah.
That's why I think Vrabel's a good coach too, even though he's currently not employed really.
He is employed, but he's an advisor. But can you imagine can you imagine Dolphins Twitter 2 through 5 interceptions? Like, we were losing on it when he throws 1. Like, this guy, Jared Goff, they still love him there. He somehow puts up a victory. This is a guy who had an 83% completion percentage in the last 5 games, and now all of a sudden and somehow they pick up a victory, and he moves on. It's amazing what the Lions are doing. But I'm telling you right now, Dolphins could do whatever they want. The Dallas Cowboys, we talk about bad ownership. We talk about an effed up team with a bad head coach. I don't know if you heard. They put Dak Prescott on IR. Now we're hearing breaking news today that because of what's been going on, he's going to be having season-ending surgery. So Prescott's probably done for the year. They get crushed by the Eagles. And you know what's ironic about the Dallas Cowboys? Do you know who the head coach of the Washington Commanders is? His name is Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn.
Yeah, I know Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn
used to be the Falcons.
Yes, but he last year he was the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. What's he doing now? He's now He's now with the 7-3 Washington Commanders. Kellen Moore was in the Chargers last year. Kellen Moore is now with the Philadelphia Eagles that put up 30-odd points against the Cowboys yesterday. Where is he now? He's the offensive coordinator of the Eagles when he was there 2 years ago. So it can't be those two. McCarthy, Jerry Jones. How an owner can be a president, a GM, is absolutely insane. They are completely built the wrong way. No running game, anything. Micah Parsons comes out today and says he's more concerned about his offensive lineman winning and couldn't care less about his head coach. He threw his head coach right under the bus. I go, what is going on? Like, that's a team that, for me, that's America's team, right? Like, unbelievable. What a awful shit show. We talk about Ross and all this kind of stuff. Whatever's going on in Dallas, they're worth $10 billion. What a mess of a franchise.
It's a crapshoot over there. I don't think they're worth $10 billion right now.
Yeah, they are. They're actually recorded a record. Yeah.
I don't care if they say they are.
We're worth over 8. We're almost worth almost 6 to 7, the Dolphins now.
Well, look at where we're at, too,
Yeah.
compared to the desert,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
but honestly,
but yeah,
that's
the owner needs to be removed. I mean, and it's nice that he wants his family to do it and all that, but they're not as smart as he was. And, he's dropped off a little bit in his decisions, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, I think he should have let the reins go, but not to his family so much to do what he's doing. Like you said, run the whole thing, GM and everything else. No. I think they should hire people to do that.
Yeah.
I think they'd be better off.
Yeah.
But
that's
that's going to drag the Cowboys down for many years if they don't hire somebody.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question, just your opinion on this? A couple things about the Dolphins. Jalen Waddle making 20-something odd $1 million this year. What is it that Mike McDaniel cannot make room for Jalen Waddle? Like, why is he not being used efficiently? What is it? What do you think? Hill, they're still trying to get the ball to. They try to get the ball to Jonnu. They get the balls to the running game. Beckham is getting more targets than Waddle. What do you think it is?
I think they've tried to change the way that they're playing the ball and the way that they spread it out. They've been going to the running backs a lot more than they were before. So that usually is a check down or whatever that usually goes to Jalen Waddle as a slot. And when he's not running the slot, then you got him clearing everybody out along with Tyreek Hill, and they're still dumping the ball off to either Jonnu Smith or the running backs once again, or one of the other tight ends. So I think that's been the shift. That they've been shifting how they've been playing, and the way they've been running the offensive line. Also, things have been changed a little bit in there. If you watch them tonight, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm sure you already saw. I don't need to tell you that.
No, I believe you.
But things are shifting in a different direction for play calling and things like that. The people are starting to be back. The people that are going to be in places are being put in those places. What happened with Austin Jackson? Is he back?
No, he's on IR. He has a leg. He has an injury.
Okay.
So Kendall Lamb will be starting. Yeah.
So it'll be Lamb. Okay.
Yeah, and Hill will be starting. Hill will be playing tonight. So we do have Tyreek Hill playing tonight. He will be
right on.
Let me
I
ask
couldn't
you,
remember what had happened.
Yeah, he got injured. But I'm not worried about that position. And honestly, shockingly enough, you haven't heard much about Eichenberg or Brewer or Harms. Honestly, can you imagine, Hank? Our number one concern going into the season was offensive line. If I had to list right now my concerns, they would be secondary, linebacker, wide receiver, tight end, backup quarterback, like
tight
coaching.
Ends for penalties.
Offensive
alone.
line is like way down, like it's down at the bottom. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, at this point, they're doing their job, because if you see 200 yards rushing every game, they're doing their job. Tua's going to be interviewed by Jeff Darlington during primetime for the Monday Night Football game. I'm going to go watch it. And I see something with Tua that's a good thing, but it bothers me. He has a sense of confidence now that he hasn't. I still see this. I don't know if it's becoming more arrogance because of the Mike McDaniel factor, the fact that he came back but he's 1-3 since his return this season. He dyed his hair all goofy red, trying to pull the Joe Burrow by being cool. He has the tats, which is his heritage. He's all sleeveless. What do you think? What do you think that confidence is? Do you think that confidence is all about is a facade, or do they truly believe that they are much better than they are their record, and that they're going to turn this around? Do you think it's a facade because they're football players, they're athletes, they have to be confident, they have to be that way, or do you think really it's a facade? Like, what do you think it is? Like, or do you really think that they're this cocky and that they're just oblivious to the fact that they really do suck this year? Like, does it bother you the way to his acting, or what?
No, I think it's a good thing. I mean, if they were down and all this other stuff, you'd say, oh, they're giving up.
No, I mean angry. I'd rather than be angry.
Well, they are angry. They are angry at themselves. And you can tell. You could tell. Tyreek has said many times, we didn't get it done. We didn't get it done. I see that on Twitter, him saying that. We didn't get it done. We got to do better. Things like that. And these guys mean it. They mean it. They want to win. And I know they want to win. And I know they felt the same way I did at the beginning of the year, like they were going to be kind of, one of the top echelon teams. And now they're in the bottom rungs again. No, they're totally shocked by it. They're shell shocked by it. And they need to turn this around. They don't turn it around tonight. I don't know. There's a big, huge question mark if they don't turn it around tonight. I don't see recovery.
If they don't win tonight, do you let it play out with the current staff, including executives, or do you make an urgent change tomorrow? Like, do you bring an interim? Like, do you pull for example, the Saints lost 7 in a row. They pulled the rug under Dennis Allen, fired him. Like, there's a lot of people on the hot seat right now. Like, I think you sort of need to take advantage of what's going on. McCarthy's in trouble. Doug Peterson's in trouble. Brian Daboll's in trouble. There's so many. You look around the league, a lot of teams are just faltering unbelievably. If there's anything can happen in the NFL, but there's so many teams that are faltering this year that could potentially lose their jobs, get executives fired, development. Would you make a critical change? Like, for example, if they lose tomorrow, should they fire Greer tomorrow? Let Marvin Allen have the rest of the year, play out the year, or bring in an interim, get a GM to monitor the rest of the year, and then see with McDaniel. In the end, I at this point don't think you should change a head coach midseason. As much as I am a McDaniel hater in terms of how he's called games. And by the way, I don't have less of an issue with Mike McDaniel for everybody, with him as a person and how he might be coaching the team. It's his game day. The game day decisions are absolutely bonkers to me. It's like you prepare for the test and you have a blank on the day every week of the day of the test. You forget everything you just prepared for. So what was the point of the preparation? So would you make a change tomorrow? If we lose definitively tomorrow, do you make a significant change to the coaching staff or the front office tomorrow?
No. I think Mr. Ross is one of those owners that'll usually wait till the season ends, but I don't know. If we lose and this flops, the one key pivot that to all of this that connects it all is Chris Greer. It's Chris Greer. Chris Greer has been doing the recruiting and all throughout 20 some odd years or whatever he's been at the Dolphins. I mean, it's time to give the man his slip and tell him to go on home. It's time. It's time. If we lose out,
thanks, Fable.
If we lose out, it's time.
Yeah, but what's interesting? The two most successful coaches of this century are Andy Reid and Bill Belichick. Those two coaches have had player personnel decisions and control during their stay. The problem, I think, no matter what, the Dolphins need to get a veteran guy who has say in player personnel to build their franchise. The difference was that Brian Flores, for me, the Brian Flores experiment didn't work because he didn't want to tank, and he didn't want Tua. If you would have told him your tank, if you would have been upfront with the guy, and you would have picked the quarterback he wanted, then at one point. So my point is if you don't have involved the coach who wants to have that control, it's not going to work. Here, McGreer has been given the full control, and it ain't working.
Yeah, it's not working at all. He needs to come up with a new plan. A long time ago, he hasn't done it. We're now looking like the Jets. So, and I don't like looking like the Jets.
Yeah. And honestly, the LA Rams tonight. Yeah, I know. Neither do I. The LA Rams, honestly, if you look at their stats, they're mid-level everywhere. They're 20th, 18th. No, they're a capable team to be beaten. It's an indoor stadium. You can air the ball out, take chances. By the way, I want them to play tonight, Hank, like this is the last game of the season and they're going to make the playoffs. Because to them, every game is a playoff game. Every game. Yeah. You have nothing to lose. Yes. Don't play conservative. Throw the ball. If you get intercepted, so what? You have no. It's like being in the 12th round of a boxing fight and you're down in points and you have to win this round, not by a point. You don't have to tie. You have to win by 10. You have to dominate. So it's not 121, 121. You're now down 119 to 110, and they have enough to get 2 points. You have to get up to 130. You have to dominate. You have to flip. It's like, I don't want to go election, but last week in the U.S. election, there was a county in Texas, Hank, that was not. It's 97% Latino, Hispanic. Hillary Clinton won that by 80-something points. Joe Biden won it by like 60-something points or 70 points. Donald Trump won it by 25 points. He took something from 2016 that he lost by 80 points and won it by 20. Flip the script, Miami. Go gangbusters. Bring back the greatest show on earth and air the ball out. Do what you have to tonight. I don't want to see conservative running the ball. I personally want to see Tua throw the ball 50 times. I do not want to see conservativeness tonight. I want to see a shootout. I want to see every time I turn a point scored. I do not need. I don't want field goals. I want touchdowns. What do you think?
I agree, and that's what I'm saying. Especially with Ingold out now, with him being out, you're gonna want to air it out more. Yeah. And I don't think the Rams are gonna sit back on their laurels and just not score.
No.
They're not going to just sit there. So, and they have some great talent on their side too. So Miami needs to do their job though. If Miami goes in and does their job, which they haven't had a complete game, which is really weird this whole year, really. They haven't really put it all together. And there's always somebody missing or this or that. There's always something.
A muffed punt, a missed field goal, a missed snap, a fumble. Just
stupid stuff.
It's like you know what it is? It's like Ringling Brothers. It's like the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, where the kid the big guy's trying to get out of the clown car and keeps on falling and flipping the car over. Like it's honestly that's what they are. Like honestly, Hank, it's like in all your years of watching Dolphins, it's like they can't get out of their own way. It's like that person who goes looking for their keys when the engine is started. It's going to look for their glasses, but it's already on their head. But they're left on their head. They have no sense of common sense. It's like there's a lack of common sense. Go back to what you were good at. Air the ball out, score quick, and survive. That's what you have to do. And get takeaways. That's it.
It's like they're not self-aware or something.
No self-awareness. There's no self-awareness. Have your keys to victory changed at all? And if they haven't, repeat them. What are your keys to victory in tonight's game for the Dolphins?
You know, I said what my keys to victory are, but I can say what I think they are going to be, and I think the key to victory tonight is going to be the defense. I think defense in the trenches are going to come through for us and get after the quarterback and contain. I think that's going to happen with Sealer back in the game. I think they're going to close it down and nobody's going to be getting through. So that's the first key, is winning in the trenches for the defense. The second key is contain, whether it's a running back, quarterback, contain. And of course, the obvious, limit penalties. We need to limit those penalties. And I think Miami has a good chance to do it.
Okay. For me, it's all about air. Get the ball in the air. If Tua doesn't throw for 350 plus, 4 touchdowns, I'm great, or 3 touchdowns, I'm rushing. That is a sign for me. He has to play gangbusters like an all-elite gunslinger tonight. I don't care. Hill, Waddle have to go back to the greatest show on turf, 100%. We need takeaways from Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey has to show up and get another pick tonight. It's going back to where he won a Super Bowl. I need to see turnovers. I want to see at least 2 turnovers from the defense. And I don't want to see any special teams goofs. I want field position. I want them to have to go down the field every time. Jake Bailey, no 35, 40-yard punts. You have no excuse with the wind. You have no excuse with the wet ball. You're indoors. You're in a massive dome. Kick the goddamn ball. And no misfield. And Jason Sanders, there's no reason to miss an extra point. There's no reason to miss a goal. There's no reason. You're indoors. Do what you got to do. And just be smart. Play the way you've played the last 2. If you play the way you played the beginning of last year and you lose, at least you tried. But if you try to play this conservative football by trying to only score 24, 21, they need to score 40, like 35. They have to score a lot of points. Guys, we just lost Fish for a sec. I'm not sure if he was rubbing his eye. I don't know where he went. Is he still there? He's not there. Anyways, no, they have to air it out. If they don't air it out, they don't turn over the ball. It's prime time. We're going to be the laughing stock of the NFL. Like, it honestly, if we lose tonight, we're last. We're like pretty much at the bottom. We're bottom feeders. Like, it's absolutely unbelievable if we lose tonight. Like, it would be just absolutely crazy. We're not going to have too much left of the show. I'm going to be on for another couple of minutes. Hank, I want him to go enjoy the Hideaway Bar and enjoy the pregame. And I'll be chilling. We'll be back here for the postgame show. So I'm on the wrong. I'm on the wrong side of the material. Whatever. So Hank, you had a game prediction of Miami 30, the Rams 21.
Yep.
Based on what we've talked about tonight, based on the fact that Hill's playing, etc., do you want to change that prediction, or are you keeping it where it is?
I'm keeping it where it is. I think Miami might even score more than that, but I'm going to keep it where it's at right now.
And Bobby has it 30-28 Rams. He believes the season is over.
All right.
I believe, because this is my last kick at the can until next week, the Miami Dolphins are going to win this football game by scoring 38 points.
Wow.
They're finally going to overcome the primetime jinx. They will put up 31.
All right.
And the Rams will put up 28. It is going to be a shootout.
Yeah.
But in the end, we will actually hold on to a lead and we'll actually pick up a victory. If we don't, you'll hear me on the postgame show laughing at McDaniel, because in my mind,
they'll be fired.
No, he won't be fired. My mind is that this is on Mike McDaniel. In the end, the defense and all that, in the end, you have to put it on somebody. Greer's already to blame. But Mike McDaniel, if you go 2-9, with Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, Ramsey, Armstead, Sealer, Holland,
Hey, remember, Armstead's only there half the time.
But he's been there this season. Honestly, if you go 2-9, this is a team where Brian Flores with nobody went 1-7 to 9-8. If you go 2-7 and you're in the realm of having less wins than the Patriots, less wins than the Panthers, you're going to be in the depths. But Hank, we could wake up tomorrow and have less wins than the New England Patriots, less wins than the Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
Honestly, that is bottom feeder. That is
Yeah.
if I'm a Miami Dolphin, I would be embarrassed because how do you let that happen? You go from having the success you've had, because also, even if they score 38, Hank, they're still going to be in the bottom of the NFL in points scored. That's the kind of thing. But I honestly don't think the 27 is going to cut it tonight. I honestly think they have to put up 30. And
That's
I think
what
they're
I
going to push
said.
past. And they need to get off to a quick start. They have to get off to a quick start. I believe they need to score 5 touchdowns and 1 field goal. That's it. That's all. I go for it. If it's 4th and 2, go for it. I don't care. No, don't anything unless it's 45 or less. I don't want to see Jason Sanders kicking 1 field goal. Not one field goal. They have to be gimme shots to him. I don't want to hear it tonight. Anyways, Cap has it 29-27 Miami. Well, hopefully I'm right. Hopefully the gods and Mike McDaniel will actually start to earn his paycheck, because 2-6 is just, if we go 2-7, like that, I have not felt 2-7 since the first year when we were 1-7. Like, and then we were supposed to be losing. This is a team that's supposed to be winning football.
Yeah.
It's
different when you're supposed to be losing.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. So, anyways, any final words before we call it a pregame show?
Nope. I'm just out in the back parking lot.
Enjoy.
Hanging
Guys,
out.
I want to appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate my pops for jumping in today. I came with an outline. I was consistent. I'm sure he's going to give me at least a D- average for my outline. I stayed pretty consistent tonight for him. I didn't go off tangent a little too much. I gave him very straight shooting questions. He appreciates me for that. So let's just hope, Hank. Let's just hope we get to sit there and have a relaxing Monday cheering our Miami Dolphins to victory. They haven't given us much to enjoy yet this year. Let's try to do it in prime time. Let's just do something. Let's just have some fun tonight. Get it out there. Honestly, they have a lot to lose, but they really have nothing to lose. They better just show up and do it. You know what I mean? Like, just win. Just win. Like Adrian and Rocky says to Rocky, just win. Win. Anyways, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate you. And as always, fins up.